everything in my studio was more interesting than the paintings. And so I started creating these tableaus that were large enough to get inside of and interact with. And I would arrange them as carefully as I would a painting. I was thinking, oh, this is a painting, this is a fixed frame. It's everything, it's controlled and arranged like a painting. But I had never taken it to that step of trying to force video to occupy the space of a painting. It was always, they were always being shown in dark rooms and people were sitting down and there was a real beginning and things happened and then there was an end. And as much as I wanted people to think about painting and talk about painting, it wasn't really happening because I think that people still felt like they were going to talk about them in terms of performance and in terms of narrative and that structure. So always in the back of my head was the idea that if I isolated these characters that I was creating for the videos and presented them on this fairly new technology, the flat screen monitor, and then hid the monitor inside a frame, that I could push people a little bit further in the direction of thinking about these things as paintings. It seemed really literal and unnecessary in the beginning, but the more I made these things and the more I tried to bring people into a dark room and talk about painting, the more I realized that I needed to bring these things into the light and have people encounter them in the spaces that they're used to encountering paintings. I made this drawing of a cowboy on graph paper, and it was just a doodle. I probably made it while I was on the phone, and I pinned it up on my wall when I was sort of planning the last show in January of all the pieces. I pinned it up on my wall, and it was next to a collage and next to this other thing, and I was like, there's no reason that that thing can't be this sketch, and that I shouldn't try to make that into that drawing shouldn't come to life and be three-dimensional and do something. That was the starting point of figuring out, okay, well, I can make these drawings into three-dimensional characters. And then as I worked on the cowboy and as I made him into a three-dimensional figure, a sculpture really, that was wearable and I could be inside of, although it wasn't best plan because it was kind of hard to breathe and I was breathing out of a tube and I almost suffocated and all of that. But as I figured that out, I made the character and I was painting him white, and I was trying to think what the character should do. It dawned on me that this character that came from drawing should draw itself. It should create drawings. The drawing makes drawings. And that seemed beautiful and like maybe a little poetic or something like that. a lot of masks have eye holes that you can see out of. And it occurred to me that I could take what happened with the cowboy and introduce that tension into other characters. So I created a video, this character based on a collage, and called the Architect. And his job was to create stacks, but to do this blind, which was even a bigger challenge because drawing is one thing. You can just sort of pull the pen across the glass and you're drawing. Whether or not the drawing looks like anything, that's one thing. But to give somebody the job of having them stack something blind, it's hard enough to do that with a vision. So that, the success of seeing the tower rise, he's oblivious to it really. And the failure of seeing it fall, it's all the same to him. And that response or lack of response from the actor is what the lack of vision gave me, right? Because it was beautiful, because now for the rest of the video until it falls, it's covering your face. Yeah. So you've made this drawing, you've sort of drawn across the whole screen.
But it looks the same, like flat.
Yeah. It's great with your face. Like once it's in front of your face, then you've like made the visual connection to your face and those objects.
Yeah, this is awesome.